Hi, I'm Renarda Joy, and today I'm your Aquaba lady, all thanks to Tony and Ayo Jones. Come meet the couple that turned my Ghanaian culture experience into pure magic.
Oh, hey. Look at you. Wow.
I wanted to bring something different to your video.
You sure did. You sure did. This is very nice.
All right, well, shall we go inside? You're crazy.
In an event where we have to all wear outfits like this?
Oh, that would be cool. Sometimes you have to leave everything you know to build what you can't see. This is the story of two founders who did exactly that. Most people come to Ghana for vacation. I want to hear what was the catalyst that actually pushed you here, and how did you know you were going to be successful?
Let's start from the very beginning. You never thought you would come.
Never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be living in Africa.
I don't even know if you thought you would visit.
Well, no, I knew there were some places I would want to visit. You know, everybody wants to go to Egypt or South Africa. But, you know, visit. Never in what I've thought, you know, moving here would be my reality.
I think we always have to start by telling the pre-context of the fact that we are, even though we live the Black experience, our stories are so very different.
Okay.
Tony is born and raised Black American, Creole roots from the South. Mm-hmm. I think definitely can trace slave roots in through.
Right.
Through the history, through history. And so it's very different from me being a first gen, right? My dad is Ghanaian, he came to the United States, so my experience was just very different. My dad used to say that we came on a plane and not a boat, so we couldn't understand the context. And I think it's true. So as we go through this together, we just have two very different experiences and viewpoints. And so for me, I always knew we would eventually like come and visit and like, you know, maybe retire way down the road in Ghana. But your first visit, I think even just within the first 48 hours of his first time being on the continent, he had this thing where he was like, well, I don't want to go back.
We were walking, my dad and I, we were walking.
My dad and I.
Okay.
The two of them were like, I mean, really.
When I first met his wife, she was under the understanding that I was his son because we would talk on the phone hours at a time. He would call, hey, Ayo, how you doing? Is Tony there? You know, and we talk and like, oh, okay. Tell Ayo I said bye, okay. I say my dad, our dad.
Thank you.
We went for a walk, and you know, I had all these stereotypes that Africa was, you know, dangerous, don't go there, all that stuff. And we went for a walk, and it started to get late. I said, hey, Pop, you know, ready to turn around? I said, yeah. Turn around and start walking. He takes a shortcut through a little gangway, and I could see like 4 or 5 guys standing. And I thought, wow, Pop, maybe we should go around. He goes, why? I said, these guys are down there. They don't want any problems. If I don't bother them, they won't bother me. And we get maybe 5 feet, 10 feet away from them. And they perk up. Oh, good evening, sir. Good evening. Good evening. And I'm thinking I'm about to get mugged. And here with confidence, this little 5'5" guy walking through them with the boldness. And it made me realize that, you know, what I had thought about Africa, the people there, was instilled in me from people who didn't want me to visit. So now that I've had that experience, I was like, I can't go back to something else, you know, at least not right now. I need this, so.
It's really, I feel like, you know, it's really interesting that I feel like that was really his moment of understanding that there is a difference between the Black experience in the United States and the Black experience on the continent. But there was something about that walk, I think, changed his perspective of things.
Because right after we came back from that trip, like she said, we thought we were getting there, we were doing it. And I was owned a construction company, general contractor, and I got pulled over coming out of a very affluential neighborhood. The police just pulled me over for no reason, didn't care. I was like, this needs to stop at some time. I'm tired of this. I have a little boy who's growing up. I have to teach him and his little brother when they drive how to deal with this, and at that point I was like, why? Why do I have to teach my boys when they get pulled over by the police differently than a white dad has to teach his kids how to handle themselves? So it took a while for me to come to the understanding that I needed to get out of there. Something was dragging on me, and when I got to Ghana, it was like, oh no. I felt like a weight had come off of me, and a burden had been lifted. I had anxiety about going back because I had to bring all that burden and weight and all that right back on me. I'm like, oh no, I don't want that. So for me, it was a very easy decision.
But did you make the decision when you went back, or did something happen that kind of say, you know what?
I think the first was understanding that there is a difference and there's a different experience. And the second was really understanding that no matter how you move in America, you're still defined by the color of your skin, and almost in a way that you just can't escape. But I think the third thing was really, so we're pursuing our American dream, and we buy our suburban Houston house, and we were living in it for about 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And Hurricane Harvey came into the Gulf, and the water started coming into our neighborhood, and our neighbors were all like, you don't need to leave. We've been in this neighborhood for 30 years. It never floods here. The water might come up a little, but don't worry. And so we stayed in the house, and the water came in.
Inside the house?
Inside the house.
38 inches of it.
Yep.
Wow.
Inside, and that's up the steps, up the walkway. I mean, it was the mailbox was covered, and so we lost everything in that flood, and we secretly, as we converse between us, talk about how it was the best thing that ever happened to us.
Wait, let's go back. You lost everything. Like, what do you mean when you say everything?
Furniture, clothes,
Yeah.
everything.
We swam out of our house that night. Leo was just a baby, so we had just come from Africa not that long ago, so I had him in my little African baby wrapper on my back as we were swimming out of our house.
Wow.
My dad was with us. He had come to visit. So we swam out of our house in the middle of the night, middle of a storm, pouring rain. We had, Tony's brother was visiting. Like we had just bought a house. We had invited people, right? So we had 4 kids under 10. We had 4 adults. We're swimming out of a house. Only 3 of the people swimming out could swim. So it was one of those things where it's like, okay, we're gonna do this. We swim out of the house. We get far enough away to get to dry land, and now we're standing out in the rain, trying to figure out what to do next.
Yeah.
So we're looking for houses that have lights. So we go to the first house that has lights. The lights are on. We go up and we ring the doorbell, and the lights go off. And so we were like,
Maybe that was a coincidence.
okay, they could be on a timer. I mean, I don't know. Okay. So we're like, okay, there's another house. Let's try the second house. So we go to the second house. Same thing. We ring the bell on the second house. And mind you, I'm surrounded by small children.
I was about to say, as you're going to each of these houses to check, are you guys migrating together, or are you leaving them in a spot while you go check it out, or?
So we're all migrating together. I've got the kids with me, and Tony had said, you know what, this time I'll stay back. So he and the men, who are all a certain kind of complexion, stayed back, and a young white couple opened the door, and I said, we just got flooded out of our house. It's literally the street over. I mean, you're our neighbors, right? We just got flooded out of our house. We are not exactly sure where to go. It's really rain. Can we just come in? And we're gonna try to figure out if someone can come and get us, or if there's a shelter or something that's open. And they looked, and I could see them look past me, and they said no, that they were really trying to protect themselves. Sorry. Wow. And I was like, oh, sorry. And it was just one of those things where it was like, I cannot imagine ever opening up my front door and seeing people in a crisis and being like, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's okay. You're good. So we went and we knocked on the third door. The last place with lights on, and it was an older couple, an older white couple, and she looked, and she could see, like, I think this time I just went up by myself.
With just you and Leo.
Because it was like, okay, no one can refuse a lady with a baby on her back, right? Yeah. So it was just me and Leo. We left everybody else at the roadside, and it was like stand back there with the kids, and they'll look like fathers instead of whatever they see.
Right.
But yeah, I opened up, the lady opened up the door, and I just remember the time between ringing the bell and her opening the door seemed like a million years, because it was like...
It was almost like, okay, let's
we're
just...
almost out of options.
How many more doors are there, right? Like, how many more doors are we going to have to knock on before we find someone who has humanity? And so we rang that bell, she opened the door, she kind of peered and looked, and she opened up her garage. There were 8 of us, and she said, get out of the rain and come into the garage so you can make calls and figure out what to do. So we went in the garage. She called her neighbor on the other side.
No. Her husband came down, Tim.
Yes.
And, you know, he was a big guy, and he very helpful. I remember that, you know, he was like, hey, let me get you guys some warm clothes, you know, get out of the clothes. So I remember him making a point, let me get you guys some clean clothes and dry clothes at least.
They brought towels out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the conversation somehow, you mentioned you were a teacher, and in Texas, groups stick together, and when it comes to teachers, oh, that's a bond there. She found out Io was a teacher, and it was like a 5-alarm fire went off. She got on the phone, they had somebody bring in cookies and
We're in the garage, and they literally brought out cookies and hot chocolate for the kids on trays. And I was like, oh, thank you. Nobody could come in to get us, and we couldn't get out ourselves. And so they let us stay in their house. So they opened up their kids' bedrooms, and we doubled up and took over their sofa. And they said that we should figure it out in the morning when the light came out. You know, it's like when the sun comes back out. So they invited us in. But I think that, for me, I think that was their third kind of domino to this. In the time that followed, we had to completely gut the house. Everything was lost. I mean, all of our belongings out on the front lawn, yearbooks and baby pictures and my skinny jeans from high school that I was hoping that I would get back into someday.
Me too, I was hoping the same. Yeah.
All out on the curb, and then you have to stop and ask yourself, without the things, like, what is this about? What is this really about?
And I think for us, our relationship grew at that point because we realized, hey, you know, you and I are here, the boys are okay. Yeah, that's what we need, us together, you know, and losing the things didn't seem so important anymore.
It didn't define you.
Yeah, we lost 2 vehicles.
Oh,
and it was like, we're good, you know. We had a support system around us. Like I said, her teacher friends rallied around.
They showed up in force.
Family came, helped out. That was one of the only times I can really say that, you know, I felt like the community was there with me. But I only felt that because they too were in the same situation I was. So my neighbors to the left and to the right, we were the same. There was nothing that was different about us. So they were hurting, we were hurting, and everybody came to help us the same.
But in that same lens, right? So we go through the process of rebuilding. I think after crisis, that's what everybody thinks about, right? Like, we've got to rebuild, we've just got to get back to what we were, we've got to get back to normal. And so we were doing it too. We were like hustling, we're building. And Tony, the construction man that he is, literally rebuilt our entire house himself. I mean, he would come to me and be like, do you like this tile or this tile? I'd be like, honey, I just like floor. I mean, just do whatever it is you have to do. But he's putting this all together. We're all sleeping in one room together, kind of squatting through the whole process, just trying to make sure it seems normal. And we get to the end. I feel like this is true for both of us. We get to the end, we've rebuilt this whole beautiful house. Tony, the neighborhood's kind of back. Tony will go out for walks with the boys. And he would walk with the boys and the neighbors would wave. And he'd walk by himself and they would pretend like they didn't see him. Or
They literally would walk the direction I'm going and turn so they didn't have to acknowledge me. And the same neighbor, when I'm riding with Leo on our bikes or just walking with them, hey, and I'm thinking, wow, that's how you see me. I'm safe when I'm with my little kid, but when I'm not with him, oh, you're protected.
like we both were in the rebuild, and there was this moment where it was just like, what do we do? What is all of this right now?
When you're visiting Accra and you want a place where Africa echoes through every corner, the African Region Hotel delivers. Warm hospitality, right in the heart of the city. Take a look. Let's return to Tony and Ayo. They were in the middle of rebuilding, literally from the ground up. Like, what would take me to that moment, if you can go back to that? Who came up and said it first, like, you know what? I think we should leave.
Pop. Pop said, hey, bring my boys to Ghana so they know their heritage and culture. He imagined we would spend time there.
Yeah,
You know,
I think that was what
a
it
year
was.
or two.
Right.
And that was our initial goal, was to spend a year or two here. And a week or two in, I was like, I'm not going back. I got her here, I'm not going back.
And I think that was one of those things where it was like, okay, so let's just go and let's do this. So we committed to 2 years when we came.
Okay.
We said we're gonna go for 2 years. That's it. We rented our house. We kind of sold everything else. So we just rebuilt this whole house. And you're like, okay, well, so sold all the stuff that we had just replaced. And we committed to doing it. And that's when we started documenting on Expat Life Ghana, because it was like, let's show other people, in case they want to do it, like, what was it like?
Right.
We got here and we started settling in, and my dad passed away. So we had come kind of for that connection point. That was really the driver of the decision. And he just passed away unexpectedly. And
Were you here for a while before he
it was
passed?
about a month and a half. Was it about 6 weeks? September, October?
Almost two months, yeah.
It's almost 2 months. One of those things too where it's like we were so busy trying to settle and thought we had time.
Yeah.
And you just never know how much time you have. So we had to have the next conversation.
So now what do we do?
Are we staying or are we leaving?
And I think in that transition, the answer came to us. It was like something came that we didn't know was out there waiting on us, and we started getting emails. Hey, I'm in Ghana right now at the airport. You know anybody who can pick me up and get me to where I need to go? I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything. I'll
Literally.
see you in a little while.
He was like, yeah, I'll come pick you up. I'll be right there. Tony, where are you going? Somebody called and said they're at the airport. So what does that mean? I'm gonna go pick them up and take them where.
Oh, wait, let me just go back now that we're talking about Expat Life Ghana.
Yeah.
The name is very clear and direct, but how did you come up with that name? Was it like a few iterations of it? Like, tell me the
This
story
was
behind the
never
name.
really meant to be a thing.
We weren't, when she started Expat Life Ghana, it was her brainchild. It was not, it was just to tell people, hey, this is where we're going, what it looks like. Our family wanted to know, hey.
They would look at us like we were going to our deathbed.
Yeah,
Be like, you're moving to Africa.
Africa, what?
It's not Ghana because it's all just Africa,
it's all,
right?
yeah.
You're moving to Africa. Why? Like we were going to die, right? Like we were going to go live in a mission hut and swat the flies, and so it was like I had a hard time finding information that didn't either minimize or glorify, and so I was like, well, we just need to be real about this, so people know. And don't fall into this trap of hut life or the glamour. It's not. That's not really what it is. So we just started telling our story.
And it moved from airport pickups, once or twice a week. And then these people were like, well, hey, I want to go to Cape Coast. You know anybody? I'm not doing anything. I'll take you.
Literally. It's like, so I'm going to go to Cape Coast tomorrow. I was like, what are you doing? I'm taking some people out there. Oh.
Yeah. So, what do you think the next thing is? Well, hey, we need some place to stay. Well, I got a friend, George. He has a place. We'll get you over there. So we're running tours now.
Not even knowing really that we're running tours, right? We're helping people out.
And George says, hey, Tony, you're bringing too many people to my house. I'm like, what do you mean, George? Well, I have people coming, and your people are coming more than my people. And it's just too much, man. You got to get your own house. You're doing enough business. Go get your own house, your own guest house. That's how we got to Expat Life Ghana tours and what we do. It was all just, we were here. People trusted enough of what we were saying on our YouTube channel and reached out to us about, safely visiting Ghana and doing it in a way that wasn't so much of a tourist visit, but more like, hey, I'm coming to hang out and visit with some family, and they're going to show me around. And I think that's kind of how we felt it. Yeah.
So the name just naturally.
Yeah, I don't even remember how we picked it out, honestly. Like it wasn't, let's launch a business. We need a really good business name. It was, we're gonna do this thing. Let's make it so people can watch. I mean, can know and learn. And I think very early on, I think this was probably about 2 or 3 months after we had arrived, someone had called and they were like, hey, we're in Ghana too. Can we take you out to lunch? And so Tony and I were like, oh, sure, why not? So we meet these people for lunch, and they were like, we just want you to know that we're here because of you. That, we were watching you get ready, and we were like, we're going to do this too. And so we decided that we were going to do it, and we're here now. And the woman was pregnant, and she's like, and our kid's going to be born here. And it was one of those things where I was like, whoa.
Okay, wow, okay. And you forget about these things. And then
the impact is just
this year we saw.
It was maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, we saw, and there's this little kid.
We just ran into her out on the street, and it was like, oh, hey.
It's like, hey, remember I was pregnant? He was a little kid. I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. And they're here living their life. It's because of you guys. And there's so many more stories like that. And
we get that a lot.
Yeah, you don't realize the impact that you're having. Like, I didn't realize maybe the first or second year of Expat Life Ghana, the impact we're having on people until a guy called. And he's like, I just got to get out of here. I'm like, what do you mean? Hey, I got 200 to my name. I'm able to get an airplane ticket. I got the airplane ticket. Can I stay in Ghana for 200 cedis for a month until my next check comes?
Tony was like, do not get on that plane. Do not get on that plane.
I'm like, all I heard was desperation, and I have to get out of here. And I think about that guy all the time. I'm like, there's so many people like that.
And more lately. I mean, I think we're noticing a pretty significant uptick lately, but it's still the story of our experience, right? It's still the story of, can you be in crisis and someone see right through you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you be living your life and someone accuse you based on nothing but the color of your skin? Can you be in a situation where you're the right person for the job and you're the right
Passed over.
and your experience is minimized, or it's called whatever label the word is now for whatever it is when they think that you're getting your position because you haven't put in the work. I think collectively we're all a little exhausted. It's really interesting for me to think about our parents and the journey that they had to make through their experience. I can remember being in the car with my dad. I was about 10 or 11 years old, and he got pulled over in our own driveway. And they pulled my mom out of the car, and they said, "Are you okay, ma'am? Who is this man? Has he taken you?" And she's like, "He's my husband. This is our house. Like, what are you even talking about?" They had him on the side of the road. Who is this woman? This is my wife. This is my house. These are my, what are you doing? And to see something escalate because you weren't where you were perceived
You should be.
you were supposed to be.
Yeah. We have a 16-year-old, and he wants to go back to finish his last year of high school in the States. And 2 years ago, that didn't sound like a bad idea.
You still thought it was a bad idea 2 years ago.
Yeah, but
But not like probably today, right?
today.
climate in the States right now, I couldn't with a good conscience and send him there. And we played that through our head. Where would we send him that we would be okay? And
we couldn't
find a place. There's so our decision is really based on, hey, we're here now, and it's a fire happening where we were, so we're not going back there. It's good here. Let's enjoy where it's good.
You can't unknow what you know.
You can't unknow. But again, I feel like this is where our experiences are different. Like I know that is very much your lived experience. That comes, I think, from not having this ingrained as part of your culture and your heritage. For me, it's like my dad stood at the foot of that driveway like, this is my house, I'm supposed to be here. Like, it was always very much, nothing was given to you, you've earned it. Yeah. And so you walk with pride where you are. And I think that the experiences allowed our kids to get that infused in the DNA without having to, like, I got it because I'm a first gen, right? Like, my immigrant dad was like, you're gonna know this about yourself. But the environment erodes that a little bit, and it makes you question the truth of it.
I want to share a story with you. Ayo talks about our experience as a Black American or as an African American. We were traveling from state to state, and we were gassing up late at night, 2 a.m, and I'm very alert when I'm out in different places. So I just gassed up and saw a police car drive through the lot. Didn't think much of it until I got inside the gas station. There was an off-duty police officer there who had just got off his radio. So I'm thinking, police car passes through the parking lot. Police officer inside. Okay, I'm paying attention.
I was getting something to drink and some chips. I was like, none of this makes any sense to me.
Did you see the police car aisle? Nope. Did you see the officer in there? Nope. Okay. I'm on my own on this one. So she's driving as we go out, and not even 30 seconds before we get back on the road, we get pulled over.
We were on the ramp to get on the highway. We hadn't even made it, it was around the corner.
And we get pulled over, and Ayo's driving, and everything is legit as far as the vehicle and everything. And he's asking, okay, it's a rental car, and well, who's the rental car? Who's this guy, Antoine? And that's my husband. Well, where's he? He's the guy sitting right there. Oh, well, I need to see his ID. And me, I'm a former police officer. I know what this stop is. Right, I know 100.
I do not.
As soon as the lights come on, because I asked her, hey, did you see where that police car was? She's like, no, man. I'm like, he's around here. He's waiting.
Are you an emerging thought leader, ready to turn your credibility into income and impact? Visit Vocal Value and book your strategy session today.
So I know what this stop. I can tell you just like it was yesterday. I'm sitting there eating some pistachio nuts.
He was cracking pistachio nuts and eating them, and I was like, "What do you mean you need to see my license? What do you need? Why do you need to?"
She was clueless as to what kind of stop this was.
Because why else would someone pull you over unless you had done something illegal? I wanted him to tell me what I did that was illegal, and you did not push back with me. And after the traffic stop was over, I was like, well, why didn't you say anything? Like, why didn't you tell him that he can't do that? You know he can't do that. I know he can't do that. And you were like, I don't want to spend the night in jail in whatever city that we're in right now, whatever town we're in right now. I was like,
yeah.
But why would they do that? And I remember your face, and I was like, 2 lived experiences. Your face was like, duh, Ayo, do you not know?
Yeah, so that was her first experience.
It might not have been my first, but that was the first.
Where she was like, oh, is that what this is? Yeah, driving while black. And I was like, yeah.
I always got pulled over and I just assumed it was because I was doing something illegal. No.
You know, I go back once a year to the States.
I have to drag him back
high
once
anxiety
a year.
when I go. When I get back to Ghana, I'm like, I'm never going back there again.
He means it. He means it.
It's just, there's so much here to explore and to be part of, and you go someplace. I can travel all through the country, and people hear me talk. Say, oh, where are you from? Oh, I'm from the States. Oh, welcome home, my American brother. Okay. I'm in Tamale, I hear this. I go to Kumasi, I hear this. I would go to Ho, I hear this. Wherever I go, I hear this. And I'm like, if I go to Tamale, especially up north, I see people who look like me. My first trip to Tom Lake, I saw a guy, I'm like, my uncle's been dead for about 20 years, but I see him walking down the street here. So I feel a connection here that I don't know how to explain it other than when people say welcome home, I understand that part that just because I was born in America doesn't make me American. It's my citizenship, but where am I from? Where am I from? And I come here and I see people who look like me, and I'm like, okay, I must be from here, because, yeah, people will mistake me for someone. Oh, I'm sorry.
It just happened the other day. We went to go park the car, and the guy opened he opened the window, and the guy started speaking in Tree, and it made me laugh because I was like, Tony doesn't speak Tree, but Tony was like, oh, okay, and I was like, well, you even know? He's like, yeah, he wants me to go park right here. You're just guessing. You don't know what he's saying. It's like, found that we were getting a lot of solo and couple travelers who weren't really needing that extra space. So Tony converted it into the like suite feel again.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And then you have the balcony of your own.
I mean, I can't imagine it with the 2 beds, but with the 1, it looks really nice. Bedding.
Oh, I just found a fabric I like that wasn't too expensive. Yeah, everything has to go with yellow, so
It does.
both of the walls.
I actually didn't even notice that, all of the, good job, Tony.
So now we're in the gallery. This is your space. Tell me, how did you curate this space? Did you start off with the yellow walls? Like, what was your first primary focus here?
The walls were here. We just put a fresh coat of paint on them. I didn't have any artwork for the walls, and there was a local artist who desperately needed a platform. He had so much artwork with no one to buy, so we decided bring it here, put it on our walls, and let our customers have a go at it. So our clients have been buying his artwork, and he's very talented, as you can see, and his artwork is very unique. The thing about him, he's in the eastern region where there's a village that it's on water, so no one around him appreciates his talent because there's kind of hard to get to him and things. So just having it here and having his platform to be shown here was a bonus for us.
So what do you think about the art?
He is an art junkie. Like, we had in our Texas house, he had collected pieces from his first few trips. And so there was a whole wall of just wood carvings and masks and drums and paintings. And so this actually lets him expand his collection without wallpapering our house.
Yes. So I decorated in a different way here, yeah.
In all of the rooms, they seem to have different themes, and I see that you have the art to complement each space, so it kind of tells a story about the room.
I didn't want all of the rooms to have the same feeling, so it was just a matter of getting a different print and finding artwork that blended with that print and just giving it its own little space and own little identity.
Really good at it, so much better than I could ever be. So I'm glad you have that skill.
This painting stopped Tony. It reminded him of his brother and now his 2 sons. So yes, so you have some sons.
Yes.
Or do any of them
boys.
remind you of you?
Oh, out of the boys, there's one that sticks out very much, and everybody is like, yeah, that's your boy, Tony. So that's the youngest boy, Leo.
Okay.
Leo had to have been not even 2 years old, and he had a little motorcycle scooter. Caught him dragging it up the stairs, and I'm like, midway, I'm like, no, son, because I knew he's trying to ride that down a whole flight of stairs, and I'm like, That's something I would have done
Oh
for
my
sure.
goodness, at 2?
At 2, and I'm like,
He
it
wasn't
sounds
even
just
2.
fun now, and I'm a grown man, but hey, kid, there's dangers than that, not for you. So yeah, Leo has no fear, none. He has no boundaries, and we see that when he rides his bike, and he's just out in the neighborhood. He has no boundaries. He's limitless in his thoughts and his movement. So yeah, it's kind of scary because, like, you want to, hey son, not too far, not too much, and having to harness some of that energy sometimes could be a full-time job.
I can imagine.
But it's great that he gets that here and we can give that to him because we could not do that when we were in the States.
Right.
I was about to say, so what's the difference and how are you, Mom, raising a mini Tony, basically?
I know his mama's down there like, I told you it was hard.
She's laughing. Mm-hmm.
But no, it is. It's definitely a different experience to allow them to have more freedom in this space than we ever could have, or we ever did with any of our other kids in the States. And that's to see him and see him out with his friends, out walking with other kids holding hands and biking with his friends. Like it's literally the validation for the choices that we've made.
There's so many different pieces of art in here. Tell me, why is this one your favorite?
Well, if you notice, this is the only one that's framed. And when it first came out, I saw the orange in it. I was like, hey, that looks like it'll match with the colors. So I initially got it for that, but then I just started looking at it and I said, it kind of reminds me of me and my older brother. And whenever he had to go somewhere, if he wanted to go a little distance, he had to take me along. So it just reminded me of, me and my brother that's right over me, that, how we used to be. And then the more I saw it, I thought, okay, that could be Luke and Leo, and for them, they got this relationship as a love-hate. They're each other's best friends, each other's worst enemies. So it kind of just reminded me of, me and my brother, and then,
Tony and
my 2
Ayo
sons
didn't
and
just
how
build
they
a
are.
business.
So,
They built a family legacy, and now their kids are a part of it. Listen to what they've learned.
So my parents' move was really bold, and it taught me that there's no time like the present, And for anyone who's seen Coming from America, their show on HBO, then you know that making the choice to stay in Ghana, it's extremely emotional. It's a massive decision. It inspired me in a way that I did not expect. I realized that the chaos coming from chasing your dreams, like laying those bricks one by one, it's no different than the chaos of everyday life. It's just one feels more predictable, My parents always showed me that the traditional route, it's not the one that you have to take. And I've just been blessed with opportunities because my parents, they've taught us to explore. They've taught us to try and make our own mark on the world. So seeing what they've done, it really pushes me to be open-minded about global politics, environmental awareness, and just what that looks like as expats and how we do our part.
I mean, the coolest thing has to be watching them build their YouTube channel and get millions of views. And then suddenly the Discovery Channel is flying out to film with us. That was pretty crazy. And then seeing that turn into an actual show on HBO. Yeah, being able to tell people we were in a documentary is really cool.
I think that's kind of what makes me the most proud, is just watching their personal growth and just seeing the stress of America melt off of them, because there's something bittersweet about being a Black American. We have this incredibly deep and painful history, but what we were able to create from that, I think that's what gives us our own edge as Black people and Black excellency. There's all these social and psychological things from our history that are still present in Black Americans today. So just watching my parents shed that baggage, I mean, that makes me incredibly proud. So they're here in a country that celebrates culture freely, without judgment, without discrimination. It's like a whole new level of freedom, and it's freeing to see.
It's definitely changed how I think about my own career. Watching the business grow from the ground up and then slowly becoming a part of it. I honestly can't really imagine doing anything else now. I'm just really looking forward to helping grow this family business with my parents and my siblings and continue building a legacy for our own family here in Ghana.
Want to wear your heritage with pride? 54 Kingdoms. Culture you can wear. Visit 54kingdoms.com. Tell them Renarda sent you. So I want you to walk me through your very first paying client for your touring business. Like, what was that like? Were you nervous? Did you curate the experience?
Who was the very first
I'm trying to think.
that didn't stay at George's? Who stayed here?
That didn't stay, just stayed here.
I don't even know if I can remember
I
that.
can't remember who it was.
Really?
I think when we first opened the lodge, it was very busy. It got very busy really quick. We weren't expecting the people to respond.
Well, let's
like
talk
they
about
were.
what did that feel like, that it was such an influx of people wanting to stay at your lodge. Like, was that the one thing you needed to feel like, we're on to something?
No, I think the most interesting part was definitely the collective stories. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, so every time you would invite someone or someone would come in, you would get a little piece of their journey and what brought them here. And I think that it's been really interesting to collect the other people in this same space, their experience, their journeys, their stories. I think that's been really interesting. I mean, we've had, 85-year-old people who have always wanted to come to the continent, come through and just talk about their experience and history. And then that's a whole thing. We've had multi-generational groups, family groups come in where we've had the kids all the way to the grandparents and do this experience together. We've had solo women come in who were just feeling like they just wanted to be empowered in their skin and talk through that. So there's just
Solo guys here,
Yeah.
like, hey, I just want to see for myself.
Yeah.
And through the people that come, I think the people that really stick out are the ones that, I may spend time with. And personally, hey, it's a single guy, and let me just take you to a couple spots I might go to, and they're like, oh, Tony, I see why you're embraced everywhere you go here. This is like your home. I'm like, yeah. I said, but I'm not the only person having this experience like this. There's just so many expats here in the diaspora that come here, and it's so welcoming. They're like, man, I see why you're here. So it's very rewarding. Since we've been open, we've had repeat clients come through, and we have next month even a couple people coming that were here last year. So I'm like, wow, they're really serious about coming back. We have it's a couple coming back.
Yep.
They were here about 3 months ago. Bought a house.
We're like, well, this is it.
Went home just to sell their house, get their belongings together to get them into a container, and they'll be here in 2 weeks.
Wow. But how does that make you feel that you were, part of the reason why they made that decision to say, if they can do it, I can do it too?
I mean, you know what? It's, as odd as this sounds, I don't know that we sit in that feeling that much.
Yeah.
Do you know? I mean, I think sometimes we're caught by surprise about it, that there's that much impact. But anything that you choose to do has an impact on the people around you. And if you can share your story, that impact amplifies. Mm-hmm. So I think for anyone who struggles and continues, there's value in that struggle for others to see what the experience has been like. And I hope that's what we share. We try not to sit in the negative or sit in the positive. We just kind of try to tell the story. Mm-hmm. And that I think has really connected with people, and they continue to follow and listen and watch and join us. And that's been great.
But it goes into, I feel like it's part of your philosophy, right? So tell me a little bit about, not necessarily your secret sauce, but what can you do that a big company, they just simply can't do it?
I feel like our new tagline is trade baggage for belonging. Mm-hmm. And I did that because of the stories that you tell about how you felt like you got to put down the baggage that came with your Western life. Yeah. And you kind of feel like this is where you belong. And I want everyone to have that experience. I didn't realize how much you didn't have it. Mm-hmm. You know, I think I was blind to the fact that I've always had that. And to see someone who doesn't have it connect to it is like, whoa, it changes how you see yourself. It changes how you see yourself in the world. It changes how you see the world around you. That to me has always been huge. What about you?
Wow. I don't know. Have to come back to me.
Because you guys are definitely different than the big companies.
The biggest difference is, like, we didn't get into this for the money.
No.
And I look at the majority of the companies here, they get into it for the money. I can tell you where each one of their days, where they're going to go. They're on a 7-day trip. I can tell you where all of those people are going to go. The difference with like us and the big companies are, we're going to take you to a couple of the sites that are big. We're going to take you to some of the sites you need to see and know about. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily the big companies to take you to, because that's what everybody knows. And okay, that's, the Cape Coast Castle and Kwame Nkrumah Museum. And yeah, everybody knows those things. But to know about the hidden dungeon in Jamestown, not everybody's going to take you there, or to go to the ancestral wall in Pram Pram. Not everybody on these big tours take you there. And those are the tours where you get more of an in-depth understanding of what happened in that era. And the big tours, it's like you went on vacation someplace and this was an excursion. Oh. That's what their tours feel like. Our tours feel like a reconnection to something that you were like, okay, I was missing something, I got it now, I get it. We're connecting people. It's not just, tours with us. We're connecting people. Like I said, trading baggage for belonging. You're going to leave our tours
feeling like family.
That's
what the feedback is. Yeah.
When they leave here, they're calling me Uncle Tony or Cousin Tony when they leave here. And I've noticed other tour companies aren't that personal. You get 50 people and you got 2 tour guides. We want you to feel like when you come here, you're coming to a friend's house, a cousin's house, a family member's house. They're taking you around the country they know. Mm-hmm. And it's the personal attention you get that separates from them. Even to stay at our lodge, if you go with a big company,
listen.
Yeah, you go to a big company, they're putting you in a hotel. When that tour is over, they'll see you the next morning. You come to the lodge here, you're going to see us all evening. We're going to interact with you. We may even that evening, hey,
head on to the club.
There's a local band playing down the street. Let's go. So we really try to treat people like this shouldn't feel like an excursion. This should feel like a homecoming, a welcoming, an embrace of family for you. That's the biggest difference.
Well, there you go. And I just want to give credit where credit is due. Tony's the mastermind behind the experience. And I think you've been very thoughtful about crafting something that he would have wanted, so that there is the experience of it is very specific to giving up that baggage and figuring out this space where you get to be yourself and be with the people, amongst the people, not just passing by. Yeah, right. Like I'm just on vacation. Right. We have had so many people who've gone on a tour with us who are like, well, I'm moving here. Yeah. We had someone who went on a tour and stayed here and was like, this is it, and bought a house a block away because she was like, well, this is it. This is the life that I want right here. So, I mean, there's a lot of impact in the way that Tony has put this experience together. And I think it's really empowering and inspiring for people.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing is we've been 5 years and no one in my family has come to visit me.
Don't tell people that. It sounds horrible.
So when people come in, I'm like, hey, my cousin's coming. I'm like, is that really your cousin? No, but by the end of the trip, we're cousins. So it's that family connection that with people who aren't family.
But with your whole experience, you're building trust in order for people to come here, because for a lot of people, this is their dream trip. Mm-hmm. So now you're kind of like taking their dream. And how do you build that trust? Because most of the people, I would imagine, are coming from thousands of miles away.
They are.
They've never seen you, maybe on, their computers, but now they're like, you're welcoming them to your space. How do you convince them? Like, not necessarily convince them, but how do you win their trust?
I don't know that we're in a business almost by accident a little bit, but we just try to be our authentic selves, and hopefully that comes through in all of the spaces and all of the places. And that referral, that word of mouth is obviously a big driving part of that. But I honestly, I really think it is that we continue to tell the story, and we've been around for a long time. 5 years is a long time to be connecting with people and building trust and telling stories. And we just try to continue to do that in a way that is real and accurate for the experience and the journey. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah, just being genuine. That's it. Just
We get that a lot.
who we are, who you see on camera, that's who we are.
really who we
And people come, oh, this is really how you guys are.
That's what I was literally just about to say, and they say that to us all the time.
Yeah, this is really how you guys are. Yeah, this is really who we are.
Yeah, this is really who we are.
I think we're crazy, but everybody
I know,
else thinks
right?
we're fun.
A little
I'm
bit,
like,
but
"Ah,
don't
really?
tell, don't
Yeah.
Don't give up the secrets.
Every founder has a story. This segment is brought to you by Zen Bodyworks, because everyone deserves to feel restored. If you're ever in Arizona, tell Keisha Renata sent you. Welcome to the Bootstrap Draw. Before we leave, there's one final thing that we love to do with all of our guests. It's called the Bootstrap Draw, where you're going to select 5 cards. You know, you guys can do it together. You can get 3, he can get 2. I just need 5.
Okay.
There's topics on the back, and I want you to give me some off-the-cuff response. Ready?
Okay, we're ready.
Beyond financial risk, what's a fear that keeps a lot of entrepreneurs up at night that no one really talks about? I'll start with you, Tony.
Wow, I think, there's always new business, and am I doing the right thing? When things start coming in and they slow up, there's always that, do I go back to my desk job, or am I doing the right thing here? So I think the fear when you start a new business as an entrepreneur is when you start making that money, things come in and it slows up. And you're like, oh, this is it. Did I make the right decision? Am I doing the right thing, keeping this thing going? But if it's in your heart and you're passionate about it, then you push through it and you make it happen, and you accept there's going to be some good times and bad times, and you put away for the bad times when there's good times. So I think that fear that the money's going to slow up at some point, and having to rebrand yourself, or having to find a new way to drum up new business keeps people up, because it's hard, competitive what we do.
Yeah. And what about you?
I think all of entrepreneurial life is founded in fear. Like that's the gig. I mean, there's no way to separate being truly an entrepreneur from feeling fear of failure, fear of missing out, fear of making the wrong choice. I think it's all connected. But I think that's why people who venture out into that space are able to be successful, is because they accept that fear is part of the culture, part of the hustle. And it's hard to know if you're looking at a moment that fear is telling you to keep going, like it's meant to be a driver, or it's meant to be a warning. I don't know that anybody can figure that out, but that's why it is what it is. That is just part of the adventure.
What does balance mean to you now, or is it even a real thing?
I have no balance. I can't answer this question. Don't even ask me. I have no balance. Balance is off. Tony?
Okay, balance to me is, taking care of everything that, the guest house has and other things that I'm doing, and still managing somehow to take my little guy swimming on Sundays, or make sure I see him on a Wednesday night riding his bike out someplace. So with family, and entrepreneurship, the family gets the bad end of it, because it takes so much from you to get that to where you're going. It's a 24-hour deal you're doing. And to make sure, hey, don't forget, I got family here. Don't forget, my wife is here. Don't forget, I got these young kids still.
Job.
So balance is always, you can get driven so much and you're so focused that you don't want to forget, hey, I still have to make time for those in my circle.
He's literally yelling at me right now without even doing it. Did you know that? I have a hard time. But I will say the good part about balance is that I think Tony and I balance each other out very well. So that's something that does work between us is that balance.
So I want to start with you, Ayo. What's your best advice for someone who is bad at networking, but they really need to know how to do it?
I'm an introvert. People are always so surprised by that, but I literally am not anywhere close to being an extrovert. I am an introvert 110%. But when I go to events, I acknowledge the fact that you cannot make the journey of any kind without support from a network or from a community. And so I will be at events and I will be like, okay, I just have to make sure I talk to 3 people before I leave. I cannot leave unless I talk to 3 people that I don't know. That has to be part of the experience, part of the journey. You can't build alone, and you can't succeed in a silo.
And what about you?
Oh, wow.
He's the opposite of me.
Yeah, I am. I'm out there every day trying to meet as many people as I can. And I think for me, it's a great thing because if I need something, I can call so-and-so. He works on generators, or this guy, he's a carpenter, or, oh, that lady, she's a good seamstress. Getting out there, meeting people, I think finding out what they do in life, and that becomes okay, I'm gonna bring business your way. Oh, thank you, and they're appreciative for that. And then they start, hey, somebody who can help me with this? Or you're good at this, can you come over? And so it's that thing, getting out, seeing what people do, and you'll be surprised at what people do that's around you here. And you don't have to leave your community, for your needs are. Somebody's there to help you, and I think going out, meeting people, help you with those connections.
It's your lifeline.
Yeah.
Fair.
What specific rules or ritual do you have here with your staff when it comes to the culture? Like, what's the standard that you want your staff to adhere for the culture of Expat Life Ghana?
I think personally, when they come here to the lodge, is for them to understand the different levels of emotions people have coming here. Some are coming for a tourist visit. Some are coming, hey, they're very specific. I want to see the tour sites, but I want to see these. I want to see the ones, that we don't hear about. A lot of people come and they're kind of caught off guard by what they hear and what they're learning. And I like for my people to understand, hey, you may have somebody who come and from a day trip and they're quiet and oh, did I do something wrong? But they're their emotions coming from the slave castle. They're their emotions hearing the history at the National Museum. It's just recognizing, hey, these people are on emotional journeys coming here. Just recognizing them coming here is a big step for them. So be everything they need, Be a little sister who's going to listen to them. Be a friend who's going to go out to them with the club. Be whatever they need because they're coming in. A lot of them are on the fence about the culture here in Africa, and they're like, well, is the water safe? Am I going to get malaria? And it's just helping people diffuse all of those negatives that they have, and giving a warm embrace, letting people know, this may be my first time meeting you, but we're family, and I'm going to treat you as such. And I think that's something that separates us, because my people know, okay, they're just not coming here for a tour. They're moving here. Something's deep with these people. Let me be open to them.
I think the most important thing to remember is that they're coming to the culture, and that we shouldn't change what we do here to give them a Western experience. Like, you got to come in and be of this space and of this moment. So that's kind of the gentle reminder.
So when it comes to your lodge, who kind of did the aesthetics, the design, who curated the space?
That was a trick card. You did a trick card here, because now you're going to make me admit that had nothing to do with any of this. People always people will compliment me all the time, like, "Oh, you've done such a good job designing in here," and I'm like, I picked that chair, the one that you're sitting in. That is my only contribution. Tony put all of the rest of this together. I picked that chair, and he made orange work and everything come together, and the lighting and the arrangement and the bedrooms and the design and decor. None of it is me. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, very easy for me. My background is construction, so we flipped houses, and staging houses was just, making sure the colors blended in a nice way that wasn't too crazy, but just
He's humble in that.
Just making it feel like a comfortable place for people to come. That was my only intent. Just make it comfortable for people. Make it a place where when they come in, they can feel relaxed at.
And he's also responsible for all of the art, all of the sculpture, all of the, just everything. So this is Tony putting
Did you
it together.
kind of have to put an African spin on it? Was that hard for you to kind of embrace the art here in Ghana?
No, not at all. You can find so many different kind of arts. Woodwork, glasswork, beads, so many. So you see something and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. And you don't even think about the price, because you know you can afford it, and it's this beautiful piece. So my thing is, I just want to share with everybody. So I have some artwork from here in Tema. I have some artwork from Abri. I have some artwork from Cape Coast. I even have some artwork from Tamale. And
I got to make sure I keep him focused when we go past artists. I'm like, no more. That's it. That's all I can fit in the house.
Yeah, but there's just so many styles here and creativity that you want to embrace it all. You want to showcase it all. And I think that's what I tried to do here, was just a little bit of everything to make people comfortable when they come.
Pro tip, come with an empty suitcase. Okay. That is all.
Okay. Yeah.
So you turned a major life change, challenge, obstacles into a great business. If there's an entrepreneur right now that's listening, sitting on the fence, and they want to take that leap of faith, but they're just really afraid, what's the one piece of advice that you wish somebody had shared with you that you want to share with them?
Honestly, I think every moment can be thought of with fear and like it's a crisis. But if a flood has taught us anything, it's that sometimes you have to invite the crisis so that you can really prioritize and reimagine what's possible, not only in your life, but in your business, and align what you want with what you're doing. So in those moments of crossroad, it really is about looking inside and deciding what the vision for your future actually looks like. And then taking however many steps it takes and however many offshoots it takes to get on the path towards that vision.
For me, I think it's don't give up today, because tomorrow could be your breakthrough. And I see so many people get frustrated, and had they waited it out, the outcome would have been there for them. So just stick with the passion.
Okay, we're good. Next time on Bootstrap Genesis, a tech founder bridging Texas and Ghana, from childhood tinkering to building a digital bridge across 2 continents. The DigiCo story, coming soon.